The Royal Parks have an excellent cycling policy, but use it only for a few % of the paths in their parks. The name of the policy is Pedestrian Priority, meaning that considerate cyclists can share footpaths with pedestrians, and when this happens, pedestrians have priority. This is safe, wise and fair. But the policies operated only on a few footpaths, and some of them are crowded with pedestrians. Elsewhere in the Royal Parks, cyclists have to choose between sharing a road with motor vehicles or risking an on-the-spot fine for riding a bike on what is often an empty footpath. I've no idea why or when the Royal Parks became anti-cyclist, and the only explanation I can offer for why it continues is bureaucratic inertia. So my hope and prayer is that the 2020 coronavirus epidemic will result in change. As soon as the lockdown began on 23rd March, there was a significant increase in cycling in the Royal Parks. It was so great in Richmond Park that cycling was banned. In Hyde Park, the path that runs parallel to Park Lane became a veloway. Normally, it's heavily dominated by pedestrians. During the lockdown, there were often more cyclists than walkers. Greenwich Park, which is the one I saw most of during the lockdown, was engulfed by cyclists. Normally, non-local visitors come by car or coach. During the lockdown, tourism vanished, and the main avenue, Blackheath Avenue, was closed to cars. One might have expected this to reduce visitor numbers, but they seem to have gone up. And a big reason for this was surely that with the surrounding roads safe, young people and families could get to the parks by bike. They began using the parks like gyms and like beaches for picnicking, reading, games and sunbathing. Since Greenwich Park has very little cycle parking, about 10 bays I think, people began riding to their favourite picnic spots and laying their bikes on the grass. With the toilet shut, they also used their bikes to find trees to pee under. Sensibly, most cyclists ignored the usual anti-cycling regulations and began applying the shared use pedestrian priority principle to paths and grass areas. They rode when the paths were quiet and they pushed their bikes when they were busy, thus proving, again, how safe and how wise the shared use pedestrian priority principle really is. Cycling is always allowed on the main avenue, but hardened commuters are the only ones brave enough to do it. During the lockdown, Blackheath Avenue became a glorious promenade for pedestrians and cyclists. It's the central feature of the park and should never have become a road or a car park. It's like the bad old days when Horse Guards Parade was a car park. I very much hope that in future the avenue will never again be used as a car park or a rat run for drivers. In essence, a park is a sanctuary. There's also a great need for safe cycling routes to the Royal Parks from their local catchment areas. 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. London already has a Royal Ride interconnecting 3 of its Royal Parks. How wonderful if it could be extended to join them all together as a cycleway cousin to Frederick Law Olmsted's famous emerald necklace of parks and greenways in Boston. It'd be a great amenity and a great attraction for Londoners and for visitors to London.